Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Four Horsemen Studios, Mythic Legion's Rising Sun Waves, Bodvar. Let's get into it! Let's begin with a look at the packaging, and there's a lot of packaging here because it's a big bear. And on the top flap here, we've got the Four Horsemen's logo. We've got some moons, the sky, a nighttime sky, some mountains, trees, foresty kind of stuff going on. Looks pretty cool, and that does roll over to the front and around the edges here, all the way to the bottom. We've got a nice huge window here showcasing the figure and accessories. It's kind of hard to see with all the light glare, and I do apologize about that, but it's not a lot I can do about it. And then it says Mythic Legions here. On the bottom, small print, fine print, legalese print, made in China print. The Four Horsemen's logo that they normally use with Mythic Legions. The website's over here. A barcode, adult collectible, ages 15 and up. There's the made in China print. It's the item number. Warning, don't stick things in your pie hole if they don't belong there. Don't give it to babies. See the entire collection at mythiclegions.com, and I do suggest you do that. And then we've got Four Horsemen up here. We've got a picture of Scapular's horse, Umbar. I don't know. I don't have it yet, so I'm not sure what the name of it is. And then House of the Bear logo there. On the other side, mythiclegions.com, sourcehorseman.com, storehorseman.com, and then there's a picture of Bodvar. And then here is some text talking about Bodvar. If you want to pause it right here and read it, if you can, then you may do that. And moving right along. And then here we have some more nice artwork. Atlas and Bodvar. There's the cross sale of Umbra and the Minotaur from Rising Suns. The name escapes me right now, but very, very nice and great, lovely artwork. And then here's some more text. And again, if you want to pause it right here and read that, you may do so. And then this text down here, if you want to pause it and read this text, you may do that as well. Let me hold it there so you can pause it. And there you have it, my friends. That is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and the accessories. And first up, we have accessories we'll take a look at. And handy dandy tweezers over here to help us take a look at this stuff. So he's got some interchangeable front paws, and these are for when he's standing up on his hind legs. And they do have some nice molded details, some nice paint work in there. Very, very nice looking. There's a left and a right. Just look at all that detail in the pads of the feet. Very cool. Next up, we have the standing up neck that has the alternate head on it. Not the easiest thing to pop on and off. I did it a couple of times, had to heat it up just to make sure I could do it. But as far as the sculpt goes on this thing, it is incredible. It looks like there's a wash in it to make all that sculpted fur detail stand out. It's got like collar rings. I don't know exactly what to call them, but it's rings in the fur, and it matches up with the joint pieces on the neck here. And just look at those paint apps. Look at those eyes, the snout, the nose, the inside of the mouth. Look at all that detail. The teeth. And then as far as what the head can do on this neck, it up and down a little bit, side to side a little bit, and it does have some twist. If you fight with it a little bit, you might could get it to do the full Exorcist, or maybe not. So I'm not gonna fight with it, but god dang, look at all that. That's just very, very cool. And that's just the accessories, my friends. Now let's take a look at the figure with the saddle on. And this saddle does come off. I find it's much easier to get this one off than other Mythic Legion saddles. But honestly, I don't know if I ever noticed if those had a clip for the strap for the horse saddles. But this one does. So, but look at all that nice molded detail. All that paintwork right here just in the seat part. I think there's a wash in there. Kind of helps things stand out. And look at all those little silver rivets, I guess, in the seat. Not that that would be very comfortable to sit on, but... And then we've got this, the gold around the outside. At least it looks gold to me. Don't make fun of handicapped people because I'm colorblind. Silver straps, silver button, I guess. And then he's got a loop up here for things to go down into, and then he's got the other kind of loop back here. And then we've got this blue, at least it looks blue to me. Then we've got like this fur piece that's like a heavier blanket, I guess, maybe a woolen piece. But look at all the paintwork that's in there, washed and stuff. And then we've got a silver loop, a silver button, a silver bracket, and then another silver loop down here. So, and then on this side it's pretty much the same. Got a little bit of extra details here. I forgot to mention the sleep roll here, and it's got a nice buckle on it as well. And just the leather work in the strap, the ropes, the texture of the bedroll. It's awesome. And then here's some more furry stuff, and again that blanket, and then whatever that's supposed to be, some loops, or is it a whip that's looped? I don't know. A pouch here, the silver ring down here, the silver ring right here, the button and the bracket, and then that leads up into this, and it's kind of, you know, the same sort of stuff going on up here with the nice details. Now the lead for it, or the reins, I guess, is a real metal chain, and there's metal pieces in here that's connecting this collar piece to the rest of the saddle. You've got them all around right here, and then here at the base of the saddle as well. And then the loops on this leather looking piece are plastic, but what connects them together is metal. And it's really, really cool looking, and I love to see that kind of detail, using real chain where you can. It probably would have worked a little better if they could have, you know, dipped it in some paint or washed it, but all of that would probably flake off anyway. So, I mean, just fantastic. And then the sculpted detail is pretty much the same as the head as far as, you know, just the detail. And I'm not seeing a lot of wash in the fur. There could be some in there, but it's not really jumping out. But there is a kind of a fade to a darker brown, and then a little bit lighter as it gets back to the feet, or as it goes down the leg and then to the feet. And the same for the front. And you've got 1, 2, 3 like ring pieces right here of the neck, and then the head. And let's look at that. And you know, I mean, that just, it looks like a bear, a real bear. And look at the eyes, the snout, the nose, and then it's got some pink going on here for the mouth. At least I guess it's pink. Again, I'm colorblind, so I could be telling you wrong. And then it's all under here as well. Now, as far as taking the saddle off, there's some little plastic pins right here and some ports. And then you do have to pop the head off. And there I go bumping the camera, because of course it's a Digital Caveman Presents review. So once you get that done, you can pull the saddle right off. Now this head is interchangeable with the other head. And again, they're not always the easiest to interchange, but they do interchange and they work well. So now that we've got the saddle off, let's take a look at the figure's articulation. So starting off, I originally, until I actually noticed this, I was going to gig him on the bear not having a tail, but he does. It's a little bitty tail, and that's okay, because bears don't have big tails. And you know, it's on a ball. I want to say it's just like a dumbbell, half dumbbell, so it goes up and down a little bit, and you can twist it side to side a little bit, and it'll, you know, it just moves around. So next up, the hindquarters. It's on a big ball joint there, or a ball joint with a long peg, and you get a little bit of twist in there. And the leg will go back that far, at least on mine. Your mileage may vary. And then going back forward, it will go forward that far, which is, you know, I guess good for a bear. There's a single hinge and swivel at this knee joint, and I want to say it swivels 360 degrees. Let's see. It does, and you can see that's a big old hinge in there. And then it will give you that much bend, which is not bad, especially considering how big this guy is. So then at the ankle, you can see there's detents right there, but it will rotate 360 degrees there. And it'll go down at the ankle that far. And it will go up on the ankle that far, which is about flat-footed, I guess. And then it does have a pin for rocker there. And the other leg is the same. Now he's got a cut right here. Not quite halfway down, but it will give you 360 degrees worth of twist, and it'll give you a little bit of left and right movement. But as far as in and out, not a lot going on there. About that far in, about that far out, so not a lot of range there. At the front shoulder, again, it's on a long pegged ball, and so you get some swivel going on there. And let's see, does he do 360 degrees? He does do 360 degrees of rotation there. And again, like I said, it'll go in and out. So I guess that's his splits. At the back, you know, that much of the splits, because I forgot to do that. So at the front, he gets that much of the splits. So that's pretty good. And then single hinge and swivel at the front knee joint. And it swivels 360 degrees. And it gives you that much bend. And then at the ankle, again, it will twist 360 degrees. It doesn't like to. At least mine doesn't, but it'll do it. And then, well, there's the peg. And let's see if I can pop that right back on there. So, the ankle will tilt down that far. And then, is that as far up as it'll go? Nah, there we go. And then it will go up that far. So that's really good, I think. Range of motion there for that front ankle. And then, of course, you saw the pin, so he does have rocker. And so that's pretty cool. Now, to swap the neck pieces out, you just pop all of that off and you'll see this big ball joint right here. Shit, the name escapes me right now, but there it is. Dumbbell. Yeah, that's what I am too. And then to get it on here, oops. Let's see if I can do that. Alrighty, and I did have to heat it up to get it on there, and I'm still not sure it's on there all the way. I just heard it snap, so maybe it's on the way, all the way on there now. So, you know, in order to stand him up, you just stand him up, I guess. And then you would swap out the paws. Not these, but these front paws. And you might have to play with it just a bit to get it to balance while you're standing it up. But there you have it, my friends. That's a look at this big old figure and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the Four Horsemen Studios Mythic Legions Bodvar with the Four Horsemen Studios Mythic Legions Boreas. Here we have the Four Horsemen Studios Mythic Legions Bodvar with the Fish Toys D20 Studios Basic Horse Model. Here we have the Four Horsemen Studios Mythic Legions Rising Suns Bodvar with the Four Horsemen Studios Mythic Legions Rising Suns Neve and the Four Horsemen Studios Mythic Legions Poxus Waves Ogre Scale Arakagor. Here we have the Four Horsemen Studios Mythic Legion's Bodvar, with from Harbinger Studios, Savage Crucibles, Who-Man, from Boss Fight Studios, the Epic Hacks, Red Sonja, and from X-Ray Studios, Combatants Fight for Glory, Gold Hilder. For our last set of comparisons, here we have the Four Horsemen Studios Mythic Legion's Bodvar, with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee, from G.I. Joe Classified series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander, from Star Wars The Black series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper, and for a 7-inch scale comparison from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on the Four Horsemen Studios Mythic Legion's Rising Suns Wave Bodvar, I have to say, I wasn't 100% on it just from looking at the pictures, although the pictures are very, very good of this figure, the promotional pictures that is, and they look fantastic. But I didn't know how it was going to work. I didn't know how I was going to really feel about it, getting it in hand. So curiosity won out, and I picked up Bodvar. And I can tell you, I am not one iota really disappointed in this figure at all. Yes, there's some improvements that maybe could be made. Swapping the heads out can be a little bit difficult. You probably are going to have to heat them up every single time. The extra set of paws, claws, whatever you want to call them, is a nice touch. I really enjoyed that. All the detail in the sculpt of the bear itself, all the sculpt and the paintwork on the saddle, the fact that the saddle is pretty easy to get off, and maybe the other saddles of Mythic Legions are easy to get off and I just missed it, but this is the first one I actually noticed it's easy to take off. And so I enjoy that, it's easy to do that and easy to put it in just bear mode. Now, after having this thing in hand, I can tell you, I'll probably, if it was just a bear with no saddle, and it had, the neck and the other head and the paws and stuff, I probably would have picked it up anyway, especially now after having it in hand and seeing just how great this is. It's if you just need a bear, a big old badass bear like this, then this is the bear. And I am not, I'm just super impressed with this guy. He's big, he's bulky, he's got some heft to him, and it's just a really, really good bear. The fact that it comes with a saddle is just a bonus. And, I was kind of on the fence with this one a little bit, and I didn't want to pre-order the white one until I got to look at this, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and pre-order it. It's just that good. Now, Harbinger Studios, on their convention circuit, apparently they're showing off a polar bear, and if it's as big and badass as this guy, then I may eschew the other Mythic Legions bear and get the polar bear that looks like a damn polar bear. Because the other bear doesn't really look like a polar bear. It looks, like this bear. And so that would be the only thing to keep me from getting the white version of this bear. And it just depends on how good that Savage Crucible, at least I'm assuming it's for the Savage Crucible line, how that bear compares to this. And I'm really excited to get a look at that. But this guy is fantastic. That's my opinion. Your mileage may vary. And, you know, I'm not here to tell you, hey, you should definitely buy this. I'm not here to say that. I'm here to show off the figure, show how it moves, show how it looks, show you what it comes with, and then finally, at the end, give you my opinion on it. And, you know, that's my opinion. Is this is a fine figure, and I'm glad that I picked it up. Again, your mileage may vary, your finances or your thing, you know, whether you can get this or not, your aesthetic choices or your style, whatever you want to call it, you know, this may not fit in with you. And if that's the case, that's okay too. Just don't pick it up. That's fine. No problemos. But my opinion, again, your mileage may vary, is that this is a really, really good figure. I'm super glad that I picked it up. Well, that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I am now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content or just help the channel grow, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.